Hello guys, so today I went to find out what does it take to feed 250,000 laying chicken in real life. Come with me, let's find out. While I was in Kigali for the 2022 AGRF Summit, I got into a shuttle van funded, a farm tour funded by Rockefeller Foundation, and I myself and a group of other researchers, including Isipe, we went to see this farmer who Rockefeller had just bought a dryer for drying black soldier fly larvae. This is a great farm. It has a capacity of 250,000 chickens. They also collaborate with their neighbors to make sure that they're getting quality chicks, and they also buy the eggs from them to be able to have a bigger access to the market. So these are the chickens. These are one of the houses. As you can see, they are not in cages. They are very, very fat. They are producing very well. In the middle is an automated system of water, food supply, and even egg collection is automated. I found that to be very amazing because with such capacities, you need to rely on technology. As you can see, the chickens have a red clip on their mouths, I think on their nose. This is like that you put on a bull, I think to avoid the baby bulls from suckling. So these ones, they put them on each individual chicken to avoid cannibalism. This is where chickens start to eat each other and they can cause injuries leading to disease. So they are very keen on biodiversity. We were not allowed inside the facility. As you can see, we are just watching through the wire mesh because the requirement is you have to take a shower before going in. Only the workers who go in are allowed to actually get in with the chickens. They are also given a specific color of uniform, overall color, so that you are only specific to that house. You cannot go into all the other houses. The land is not that big. I think it's on 6 acres because they have correctly utilized the space they have.
You let me build up my feelings. You shatter them quickly, I let you. It's easier than fighting, but I know I give you everything I am.
So these greenhouses are the facilities for setting up the black soldier fly larva pilot program. They are targeting to do more than a ton a day on the production, and that means a lot of work. Most of the things is a science. Once you stick to the science, the rest should be okay. But obviously at first you're overwhelmed and it can get complex, but with time you get the hang of it. So as you can see, these are the eggs. You can see they are slightly moving because they are very, very small worms. Yeah, so this is where the journey all starts. The eggs hatch into the small worms. They put the eggs in that yellow container and very smelly feed is fed to them, and then they drop down into the food and they start feeding. At this point then they're transferred into the next department. The eggs are put in pieces of wood that are nicely done. So in between you can see those yellow small things. Those are eggs. The flies lay the eggs inside there. So you just put the 3 pieces of wood, put rubber band, then put them inside the cages, and the flies will know what to do. Then you remove the eggs, put them in the bowl as you had seen earlier. After that, the small worms are transferred to these cages where they are. No. First we go to the other house, then you now come to this where they're allowed to even fly around and eat and that kind of thing. They're putting water bowls, the cages on water bowls to avoid ants from climbing and eating the worms. Ants are just a menace, so that is why. You also need the mesh material that looks like mosquito or net to make sure that the flies are not flying everywhere and you're losing them. You need them for the next season. So at this stage they are allowed to grow into maturity so that they can mate and you can get the eggs. So this is not your end product, this is egg production stage, and that's why you put the net so that they can get to interact with each other and you can get your eggs. Then they put the timber together like that and you tie with a rubber band and you put them in there with the flying mature female and male flies. The lifespan of a fly is very short, so they're able to make their money quickly. So we left that house and went to where they keep their waste. This is the waste center. It has like lagoons or like swimming pools. Yeah, you kind of get it. They're divided so that they can know this one is for this date, this one is for this date. So they get their waste from factories that make juices. Those who've been to Rwanda know about this company called Inyande. Yeah, that one. And then with stages, as they're going and rotting, the water starts to separate and sits in the bottom. This is what I meant. One of the challenges they are saying is waste management. Most of it is water. So you can imagine you're carrying 10 tons of waste, but half of it is water. So you end up feeling, is this really worth it? You can't just collect anyone waste. You have to have permission. They have to expect you to be reliable to collect it every day, even when you don't need waste. So this is the grinder. Eventually can't give it to the flies as whole. You grind it into this paste. You still use the same water, but most of it will have evaporated. Then you put them into the basins and feed them to the flies. So this is the final product. This is the worms. In the middle are the worms, and then they are dried in the sun. You can dry them too quickly, let's say by heating, because you will lose protein content and you need to keep it at optimum, which is 40% protein. So these are the dry worms. They are not edible for human consumption, they're just for animal feed. When they're ground, they become this fine powder that you can now mix into your feeds and just give them to your chicken. So they have a little bit of reserves, and they're going to test the pilot using broilers, not their layers, because they're like, this is not enough. We can't just give them kionjo and then we stop. We need to use the 5-6 weeks of a broiler's lifespan to compare and contrast. Use other sources of protein like fish meal and soya, and then see if this is actually superior, if it cuts costs, and what are the implications of having that. Then they will adopt it or advise. Yeah, so then we moved to the second warehouse, which is where now the actual work of black soldier larva actually happens. So this is the real product. Those small worms that you had seen at the hatchery, they are now brought here and they grow over weeks and then they turn black like this. Then now they're separated. You have to sieve them using that thing that looks like a construction sieve. Then you get people to also go one-on-one picking between the worms and the big particles as they are doing. So it's a good source of labor. It's a sustainable way to make sure that the environment has a better waste management system, and it's a good source of animal protein, which is safe as well. So yeah, good for humans, good for the planet. I really enjoyed coming here. My mind was so blown. I promise I didn't have that much makeup. I don't know, greenhouses just make you feel yes, light skin, but I promise that that is not my skin color originally. Anyway, so this is the sieve that they were using, just like the one they use for sand in the construction site. Yes, they're going to change from basins to crates, which is more efficient because then they can be able to pile as many as possible between the beds for optimal production. The idea is not to have 20-30 acres. The idea is to scale, go vertical, and make use of that. So these are the worms. I touched them. They're a bit wiggly and ticklish, but there's money. He was saying you can sell a kilo for around 1,000 shillings, Kenyan shillings, which is great.